Our first example is Zephyr Song by Red Hot Chili Peppers. The verse of Zephyr Song is in the key of A minor, but when we reach the chorus, the music jumps up to the key of D major.
Take a piece and pass it on. Fly away on my Zephyr. I feel it more.
The more obvious thing to do here would have been to have the chorus in C major, not D major, because C major would be the relative major to the verse's key of A minor. If Zephyr Song did do this, and therefore stayed in the same key throughout, it would sound like this.
Take a piece and pass it on. Fly away on my Zephyr. I feel it more than ever.
As you can hear, the song still works perfectly well without the key change, but you could even say it works too well. Without the key change, the move from verse to chorus is really smooth and uneventful, but with the key change, we get this little boost that kicks the chorus off. The next subtle key change we're going to look at is in Africa by Toto. The verse of Africa is in the key of B major, but the chorus is in the key of F sharp minor.
Boy is waiting there for you.
Ordinarily, this key change from B major to F sharp minor would be a fairly obvious shift in the music, but here we're transitioned into the new key signature by the use of this A major chord. A major doesn't belong diatonically in the verse key of B major, but very much does belong in the chorus key of F sharp minor, so its inclusion here effectively eases us from one key into the next. Now, our third example of a key change hidden in plain sight is Message in a Bottle by The Police. The verse and chorus of this song are in the key of C sharp minor. However, the I'll Send an SOS to the World pre-chorus section is in the key of A major. Now this key change is probably the most subtle of the four examples that we're looking at today. And that all comes down to the two particular keys that we're moving between here in Message in a Bottle. What ultimately makes a key change sound either stark or subtle is how many notes the two different keys we're moving between have in common. When they have a lot of notes in common, then the key change will be really smooth and subtle, and when they don't have a lot of notes in common, then the key change will be really stark and obvious. For example, in Love on Top by Beyonce, she jumps from the key C major to D flat major, and those two keys have only 2 out of 7 notes in common with each other. So this results in a stark, abrupt sounding key change. Despite C and D flat being only a semitone apart on the keyboard, these two keys have very little notes in common. We can see that in their key signatures. C major has no sharps or flats, but D flat has 5 flats, a massive change. Compare that to the key change in Message in a Bottle, where we're changing from the key of C sharp minor to the key of A major. Those two keys have all but one note in common. They share 6 out of 7 notes with each other. So switching between them is as smooth as it gets. If Message in a Bottle didn't change key, it would sound like this. As you can hear, if anything, the song worked more smoothly with the key change, as although we are now staying within the same key signature section to section, without the key change, the vocal melody in the pre-chorus now has to drop down to a lower range, causing a lull in energy. And the last song we're going to look at today is Lovefool by the Cardigans. The verse of Lovefool is in the key of C major, however the chorus is in the key of A major.
A man that surely deserves me, but I think I do. So I cry and I pray and I beg. Love me, say that you love me.
Now, unlike with Message in a Bottle, where the two keys we were moving between were very closely related, here the two keys C major and A major aren't particularly close to one another. They only share 4 out of 7 of their notes. So a key change from C to A would usually be fairly obvious. But here, the key change has effectively been hidden by this chromatic climb that happens just before the chorus. Step by step, we walk up from our old tonic note C to the chord of E, which is the 5th chord, the dominant chord of our destination key, A major. So this gives us a nice cadence, a nice perfect cadence into the new key.
A man that surely deserves me, but I think I do. So I cry and I pray and I beg. Love me, say that you love me.
So now let's listen to what Lovefool would sound like if it didn't change key, and you'll notice that I've actually removed the entire chromatic climb section here, because all that section was effectively doing was pivoting us from the old key to the new key, so without the key change, we no longer need this climb section.
A man that surely deserves me, but I think I do. Love me, say that you love me.
Today's sponsor is free to use, so if you want to check it out, if you want to help the channel, then you can do so at completely no cost to yourself. It's not a free trial, it's just free for you to use, and it's called Timbro. Timbro listens to you as you play, giving you instant feedback on whether you're playing it correctly. I find the layout of Timbro really easy to understand. It's sort of really clear and vivid on the page, much less intimidating than sheet music in a book. There's a whole range of different pieces available on the app, some of which really are quite challenging and advanced pieces. Timbro is also great for guitar as well, not just teaching you songs, but teaching you theory that's useful on the guitar. For example, knowing which notes you're actually playing on each fret of the neck. As I said before, Timbro is completely free to use, so do check it out using the links down below, and you will be directly helping the channel every time you do so. So that's 4 songs with subtle key changes. Let me know in the comments if you know any other examples of songs with subtle hidden key changes.